Oregon. You said
I'm from
Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon,
Oregon.
yeah. What do you
Yep,
want to talk
Oregon.
about? What do you want to talk about?
I was actually listening when we were talking about the tariffs earlier,
Okay, we can go to tariffs then. I'll make sure we go to tariffs.
and then you had a caller call in, and he was making a real good point about what Donald Trump pretty much overruling the Supreme Court can do, the effects it could have on the actual overall government,
Yeah,
which is what I don't think people are really looking at
right. Did you
because
see?
pretty much, if he starts just finding loopholes and changing laws and, he's treading on the Constitution.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point.
I think people need to pay closer attention to that.
Yeah, it's two things here
I
that
think,
on tariffs here. They struck his it was in the Supreme Court's hands there. Some lower courts, it was tied up. They kick it to the Supreme Court. They said it. Yep, you know what? 6-3. They think that is illegal to do it. It's like
right,
approximately $150 billion tied up. They said somewhat here and there. It seemed like Trump said, "Okay, no problem." Apparently a couple of judges point him into the right direction of which way he should go from what he's saying. And he says here, and I have it on the screen right now, that it says here President Trump proposes a 10% global tariff on all countries. So it says there, and this is from Truth Social here. It says, it is in my great honor to have just signed, and then when he says sign, it's an executive order. He did this today from the Oval Office, a global 10% tariff on all countries, which will be effective almost immediately. And it says, thank you for this attention. I mean,
well,
attention to this matter. So he's going
yeah,
to do, so that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing right now. He's
right,
putting a 10% tariff, a global tariff on everyone. His whole objective is to try to get ahead, get this
yeah.
thing going. What do you think
I
about
understand, but
did,
and the other thing is, I don't think people are really understanding that tariffs go both ways. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
everyone's like, these tariffs, like the man's been in office almost a year and a half, and the tariffs aren't. What benefits are we seeing from these tariffs?
yeah. Hold on a second. I remember you now. I remember your voice. Hold on a second, please. Oh my gosh.
Call from.
Hey. Oh, one second. I'm sorry,
To
Robert.
accept, press 1.
Okay.
To
Oh my
send a
gosh.
voicemail, press 2.
Hey, Robert. I'm so sorry, man. Call back, Robert. I accidentally hang up instead of switching. I actually hit the wrong button, Robert. I have an open line there. Call back, Robert. I apologize for doing that. I actually just clicked on the wrong button. I see you there, Mel. You said
Whoops.
that's another thing about Trump, and then you talked about Trump. Even the Supreme Court judges that he appointed disagreed with him on tariffs, but Mel also they point him in the right direction to apply this particular type of tariff. Okay, not be for certain groups. My name is Mike, and you're watching For Real with Mike. I have Trump is winning. That's my position on it. Is he perfect? No, he's not perfect at all. I have a caller. What's your name and where you from?
Richard, Missouri.
Missouri. Richard, did you call before? Have you called before?
No, it's my first time.
Okay, Richard, what do you want to talk about?
So when you say winning, what was that you said that would define Trump as being winning?
You got to watch me for a while, and I'll tell you. Why do you think he's not winning?
Okay,
Hold on one second. I
some
got
things
somebody
I
on
have.
hold. Hold on a second. I got to put somebody on hold. Please, hold on.
Call from.
Rob,
Hey, Rob, I'm so sorry, man. I hit the wrong button. I clearly hit the wrong button. I'm gonna talk to him for 2 or 3 minutes, and we're gonna get back to our conversation. Okay?
oh word, man, I thought you were trying to silence me.
I know I wouldn't do that. I'm more direct than that. Okay, hold on a second. I really didn't. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, one of the things, there's actually a couple things, but one thing that does concern me that I'm not sure if it would be considered winning. Trump has talked about bringing in approximately 600,000 Chinese nationals
Huh?
into our school system.
Oh yeah, he mentioned that
Yes.
earlier. He mentioned that earlier. Yeah,
And
but he said not to our best
about
institutions.
300,000,
But not to our best institutions.
Indian nationals.
Yeah, but he
Go
said
ahead.
not to our best institutions. They will not be going to our best institutions. I remember that happened a while back. Yeah. Go ahead.
So what do you mean not our best institution?
I don't
Because from
know.
what
I
I've
don't know.
seen,
I guess
and that what he
Ivory. I
said is
guess
that
not
he wants
Ivory.
them to go into the tech and STEM fields.
Right.
So basically, they're going to go into computer sciences, working for industries such as Apple, Google, etc. So we'll have
I'm gonna look
foreign
it up.
nationals controlling our media apparatuses.
It's some restrictions on there. Marco Rubio talked about it as well not too long ago. But keep going. I'm listening to you. You're making, yeah, it's true.
And what restrictions would that be?
I don't know. I'm typing it up right now. China's
Okay.
Chinese students.
And
Keep going.
another problem I have is I forgot the name, but there was someone, this lady that was on one of the boards that Trump had, I guess, in his administration. She was a Catholic, and she was talking to, I guess, some people from Israel about the anti-Semitism and basically having them define anti-Semitism.
Mhm.
And he ended up removing her from his administration because her remarks were considered anti-Semitic. And she was merely pointing out the fact that being against supporting the state of Israel was being conflated with anti-Semitic remarks. And the problem I have is Trump's huge support for the state of Israel, given that, at least for now, as secular humanism is on the rise, we are technically a majority Protestant Christian nation. And the things that the Israeli people, Talmudic Jews, rabbis, the things that they say about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and the types of things that in their religion they believe that they can do to, let's say, like our children, for example, the type of disgusting things, I'm not really sure if we should even support a nation like that.
Okay.
So I don't see how that would be technically considered, winning.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I have it right here about the Marco Rubio thing here if you want to hear it. I haven't read it fully. I was reading a little bit of it here. It says during his current term of 2025-26, President Trump's policy regarding Chinese students have fluctuated between aggressive national security crackdowns and strategic diplomacy, overtures linked to trade negotiations. I guess he's using trade with this as well. Thing. It says here that.
Okay, now are you just.
Oh, no, I'm going to get into the meat right now. It says here the administration has implemented several measures that significantly impact Chinese international students. It says visa where it says, in May 2025, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced plans to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, specifically targeting those with connections of Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, or those studying in critical fields like AI, quantum computing, and aerospace. That's there. And then it says here, enhanced scrutiny. All future visa applicants for China and Hong Kong now face increased vetting, including more rigorous social media screenings and background checks for potential military and civil fusion ties. I don't know what that is. It says end of the duration of the status. A new proposed rule of the Department of Homeland Security aimed to replace the flexible duration of status. It's called fixed for 4 years. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. You cut out for a second.
Oh, my caller behind me. Oh, yeah, that was Robert. I forgot all about Robert. Okay, it was another caller. He hung up. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Robert. And it says requiring students in longer programs, so I guess they won't allow them to do this anymore. So they're going to end the duration status. So requiring students in longer programs like PhDs to repeatedly apply for extensions.
Well, I hate to interrupt. That sounds, rhetorically nice and everything, but the problem is as we know, the Chinese government has a strict crackdown on their social media platforms. Right. So we don't actually have full access to their social media platforms to see which individuals may or may not have indirect ties with the CCP.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you realize just as I do that a lot of people's worldviews, you come with a lot of presuppositions. So the Chinese, they grow up in a communist nation. That's
You agree?
the
I agree. I
power
agree.
system that they know
Right.
and they live with.
So what do you think? We
So
should
when
have,
they come over here,
Richard. So you think they should have zero Chinese students here?
in my opinion, to be completely honest, I think that we should cut off immigration entirely.
Okay.
I wouldn't be opposed to cutting off legal or, well, I mean, obviously illegal immigration. We
Right.
put a stop to that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be opposed to completely not only stopping all forms of immigration, but also all support of
Okay. Let's be honest.
countries,
Yeah.
including Israel.
Well, let's be honest, Richard. I mean, how can I say this? I can say it because okay. How about this here? All immigrants aren't the same, right?
No.
They're not the same. So we can agree on that. They're not the same. Some bring risk involved, like the one you're mentioning with China. Some are from countries that are allies and stuff. What do you think about those visas?
I would say that you're kind of bringing the same argument that the left does. Like whenever we bring up the idea of how Muslims being imported from the third world into, let's say, like the UK, for example.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot of like the rhetoric where they said that not everybody's the same, not everybody holds to these
Right.
ancient ideas of
Right.
Islam, Muhammadanism,
Right.
and yet we see 1,000% increase in knife crimes and
Yeah.
rapes and
Yeah.
other violent crimes.
Well
So
said.
that's my point. What I said about the Chinese is that they have a lot of presuppositional ideas
Well said.
that they're grown and raised by, and they will inevitably bring those over here, especially if they're allowed to be, if we're bringing them over as nationals of their nation, not forcing them or making them go through a process to, I forgot the word,
Assimilate.
the word escapes me.
I don't know.
Thank you, assimilate. That was the word. Not having them assimilate and accept our cultural norms. Which, I mean, that's a whole other problem we could even get into, which I'm sure you don't have time for, but about the atheistic, position in this country, the presuppositions of that, and leftism and the correlation between the two. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But like I said, these presuppositions are very dangerous, and bringing these people over here without assimilating, I think, is a terrible idea. Especially, like I said, if we let them into the STEM field, the computer science field, and let them into these major corporations, especially with a country like China, where, like I said, they have a very strict social media, internet access platforms that we can't even have access to even see if these people really are actually tied to the CCP or not.
Good point. Very good point. Thank you for calling. I got to get back to Robert. I'm sorry. We talked for 9 minutes to 10
thank you.
minutes. 10 minutes. I'll try to keep the call short.
Appreciate your time.
Call back
you.
anytime. You brought some great points that I'm going to look more into. Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.